2023 has been a very tough year for Nigerians, especially for business owners, talking about small and medium enterprises, where we are having over 4 million, small businesses have actually shut down because of the harsh economy, following the removal of the fuel subsidy, talking about security, talking about transport. Quite a number of factors have actually determined why we are having businesses leaving. And to add it up, we are having five about big, large businesses actually leaving the shores of Nigeria. So this calls for quite a number of questions on the minds of Nigerians. What is the way forward? Good afternoon and welcome to Nigeria Now, where we'll be looking at some of the issues that are happening here in Nigeria. And I'm Seda Lashidashom. I'll be doing the program with Rachel Tansy. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Afternoon, Stella.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
Great, thank you so much. And to our viewers, please do remember you can join us live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can also drop your comment on any of the story or any of the issues we will be discussing this afternoon. And we'd like to start with the first, where we're having that Tinubu is actually talking to about multinational companies, telling them to stay back in the country as quite a number of them are leaving. And you will recall, Rachel, last week or so, we're looking at the number of businesses that are actually leaving, talking about big international companies that are leaving. We had that of the P&G that left, and then we're seeing that the KST actually is also leaving. I mean, by August, they made their intention known that they'll be leaving the shores of Nigeria. We're also having a number of I think Univel are also leaving the country, because I was talking about those with almost sunlight and all of that are also leaving. And then here we're seeing finally Shell is also planning to leave the shores of Nigeria.
Yes.
And this, Rachel, this is like a panic attack for Nigerians at a time like this, because a lot of people, not only will this affect the economy of Nigeria, but also this will affect the number of unemployed youths we'll be having, and also older people that are in it. And here we're seeing the president begging all of this big multinational company that are actually planning to leave to please stay back, saying that he's going to make sure everything is being needed to put. But the question here is that what have been in place all this? But I mean, if you are going to talk about the likes of like KST, we know they're talking about one of the big pharmaceutical companies that have been in Nigeria. They have been here for quite a number of years. And then even talking about Shell, I mean, Shell have been here from 1959 or so.
Since oil discovery in the
So
country.
you could imagine, Rachel, and this call for quite a number of questions in the minds of Nigeria when we are having our president going over there to woo investors into the country, and we are having companies leaving the shores of Nigeria, leaving because of the harsh economy. They can no longer cope with a matter of things. So right now the question is, what is the way forward, Rachel?
I mean, Sarah, when you hear the president talking, it's kind of surprising and sounds like a joke in a lot of ways, because he's assuring these multinational companies that there's no bottlenecks thing or situation or factor affecting their business that he cannot take out. And I was like, wait a minute. There are everything there. There's nothing you can do about it as it is now. A matter of fact, you are one of the reasons they are leaving, because subsidy removal was your policy. And the question is, why is P&G leaving? Why is Procter & Gamble leaving? Why is Shell trying to leave? Why is Unilever thinking of leaving? Why are we having JSK trying to leave? Why are we having these pharmaceuticals wrapping up and going after decades of running their business in the country? We grew up knowing Panadol Extra, and all of these products from these brands, and all of that. We grew up knowing Omo. We know virtually every household product item.
Every detergent is called
exactly. Our toothpaste that is popularly known in Nigeria as Close Up, and all of that are from these companies. And what this implies that there's a lot of things in play right now. But I would like to start from the reasons why I don't like how the president is sounding. You're making it look as if the reason that they are leaving is something that you just, and it will go away. Why are these businesses leaving? They're having a challenging economic environment. Power supply is one of the reasons they are leaving. Exchange rate, they are leaving. For P&G precisely, are saying they have difficulty in creating US dollar value. This is one of their reasons for leaving. Difficulty in creating value for the dollar. We're seeing the free fall for the naira, how it keeps going consistently. Now, other companies are talking about the same exchange value, foreign exchange scarcity. We're looking at power supply. We're looking at fuel pump prices, inflation, and all of that. And when you are talking to this company and telling them there's nothing you cannot do to turn down whatever is the situation, or to change the outcome of the situation it is and make them stay, and then you wonder, why are we standing like this? And that's why I keep saying, you don't urge or woo investors into your country. You make them rush you by creating an enabling environment seller for them. And this is what these companies and businesses are lacking. And that is why they have no option. The president is trying to tell Shell, our long history. No, this is a company. Your long history is not going to make their business. They're running on losses. So it doesn't matter if you were giving birth on the same day, or you were friends for over how many years, or you know yourself inside out. It's still business. And relationship in business is profit and interest. That is good business relationship. And if such is not existing, then there's no longer room for business to exist between two individuals, company, entity, or whatever the case might be implied. So I believe it's same for Shell and Nigeria. Regardless of our long time history, it's not enough for them to stay, because in the end, if they'll be losing out, then it is more dangerous for us in this country, because we are seeing the backlogs we are having when it comes to our airline funds. Yeah. And we are seeing that airlines, even if they want to do business with us, they can't, because it is business in the end of the day. It's not just friendship. It's not just relationship. It's still business at the end of the day. So when the president is sounding like he can just change the inflation rate, or he can turn the exchange rate for the dollar, or make our naira have more value, these are all things that are out of your control. But what is in your control is the policies that you can begin to put in place, and making sure that in the end they turn out to be something better. And I believe that when we are able to take out all of these factors that are making these businesses to go, and they're adding to unemployment, and employment also has its indirect effect on the economy, because it's as a result of every other thing failing that we are now having unemployment. But eventually, when we now start seeing unemployment, then we are going to see that our capital growth, GDP, is going to also decline. Yes, it will keep declining eventually. And then all of these factors, when you put them together, I mean, there's so much we can say concerning asking multinationals not to leave, and what you're supposed to do. You're not even supposed to tell them not to leave. When they come and they find a good environment, they will go nowhere. They will ask others to come and join them. And another economic what implication, Tele, is that we are going to soon go on 100% importation. I mean, when it comes to goods in the country, because if we're able to have toothpaste in Nigeria, because we have Unilever, if we're able to have P&G also doing other even they do also do toothpaste, also they do all the household items. If we have them living, then it means our importation is going to increase. And let's not forget that our dollar is not. So maybe now that we are complaining that toothpaste is 600 naira, 700, maybe we can wake up.
The toothpaste you're buying,
it depends. And I'm even trying to look at the normal small ones that we are complaining. And by the time we will have to even be importing them, because as it is now, some are being made in the country. So imagine by the time we have to start importing them, and your dollar is free falling, you know what it implies for us eventually in the country.
Richard, you know what I'm faulting this government is the fact that for every administration that comes, it seems as if that administration did not learn from the previous administration. Now, Richard, let us not forget that these companies have been in existence, just like we rightly established. And the fact that the past 10 months have been a hard one for them. So that is to say, even before this present administration came into power. I mean, when Dunlop left Nigeria, it wasn't during the regime of Tinubu.
No, it wasn't.
It was a long time. I mean, we can all remember advert while we're younger.
Yes.
And all of that. Now, why did that company leave? Something triggered that company, and that was why the company left the shores of Nigeria, and a number of companies that have left in the past years. Now, why am I saying that? Is because we keep saying that for every administration that comes, it is expected that you learn the good and the bad and see how you can avoid the bad from happening. Of course, a lot of Nigerians will not remember all of these companies that have left. Presently, they are being faced with the present companies that are leaving. Now, I believe that Nigerians wouldn't have been concerned if only we're able to fix everything and then we are producing everything that we produce here. Imagine if we didn't have to depend on KST for some of our pharmaceutical products. You and I were looking at the inflation prices of about 300% increment on all some of these drugs that you could get paracetamol that was 14 naira at whole price. Right now you're getting it at how much? 200 naira. It depends on which other company you are actually buying. So a number of things I believe that this administration, just like you rightly said, I'm believing that beyond promising this multinational company that you are trying to put everything, some of the policies to make sure that they are having a good, business environment, their economy is going well, making sure that they are recording profit, not losses. You should make sure you do a lot of things. And just like we said, how about the power supply? Are you making sure that we have constant power? How about the petrol subsidy you remove? What is happening to the money you've generated from that? You're supposed to fix into doing one or two things, but we're not seeing that happening. So believe me, just like we rightly say, it's one thing for our leaders to come out and say, no, don't leave the shores of Nigeria. But what are you doing to make sure that they remain here, that are still, because believe you me, if something is not being done, there are more companies that are warming up to leave. And just like you say, we are sensing more importation just when we are afraid of all that is happening. You and I complain about the 43 items that already the border was being opened for something as little as toothpick. We cannot even produce it in the country. Or I'm going to talk about over 4 million small businesses that have to shut down because things are not working for them as they should be. So we are hoping the government will look into that, and then we'll see that everybody will have an enabling environment to be able to thrive in whatever business the people want to eventually, get into. Now, let's look at our senators, our well-beloved senators. Like, they have actually come under a lot of attack following the SUVs, following a lot of things they said. People have even tagged them as rubber stamp. I mean, the 10th Assembly, they don't have anything to give Nigerians. And we saw that during the weekend. They wow a lot of Nigerians by going over there to donate their December salary for the victims of Kaduna. I really have to give it to them. That was very thoughtful of them to come up with such an initiative. And we saw that they were being led by the Deputy Senate President, which actually went over there, visited the governor of Kaduna State, and he said they are here to actually pay sympathy visit. And they said they'll do whatever that is needed to make sure that they support the people of Kaduna. And that is why they have taken that step forward to donate their December salary, which rounds up to about 109 million naira. Now, this is a nice gesture coming from them. I mean, it takes a lot of people with a strong heart to sacrifice that. Of course, they have come on that. Like, a lot of people say, we are interested in the allowance, not the salaries, not much, and all of that. But then when they do well, we should give it to them, and when they're wrong. But then we are having our senators, Rachel, giving their December salary. And at the same time, during the weekend, we had our Senate President throwing a big birthday party because he celebrated his 61 years birthday. And he has also come under attack. A lot of people are asking him to actually give them an account of how much was public funds into that, how much was personal fund, how much was donations, and all of that. Now, we want to focus first and foremost on the senators visiting that place and then giving 109 million naira for the victims of Tundumbiri over there in Kaduna State.
I mean, yes, just as you said, it might sound like something commendable, like, oh, let's just be generous, let's be nice to the people in Kaduna State, and then let's donate our salaries. I believe this is 109 senators, and then amounting 1 million and amounting to 109. As applaudable as it might look like, Sele, it only reveals the fact that we don't have a structure. We don't have a structure whatsoever, because that's not how it should be. Why wasn't such donation made to the past people that lost their lives, to the past communities that had this issue of aerial bombings from our Nigerian military or from the Air Force? Why didn't we see that kind of sympathy? Are there lives that are better than the others in Nigeria? It's good for you to go there, but we've never seen such a rallying before. And that's already a gap that it shouldn't be in the first place. And by structure, it's simple. I can use our church, for example, Sele. If a church member is sick, for example, and admitted, a church can say, we are going to give 20,000 to support the family. If the person is sick and at home just for a while, it's 10,000 that goes to the family. If so thing happen, if the person is bereaved, deceased, we give this amount, and it's done equally to every member in the church, as long as it's coming from the church, not individual supports from family to that person based on, no, the church structure, for example, and we have our churches with such structure, is the same thing that should be, and even better, in the federal government of Nigeria. That is, what is your compensation structure when there is something that happened in a certain place? Because you are supposed to treat every citizen of Nigeria equally when it comes to happenings like this, when it comes to sad events. If our lawmakers are supposed to go and visit a certain place, what are the things we put in place to compensate or to show our sympathy to these people? The same thing should be heard of when another thing happens like that elsewhere and we go to visit these people. But we've had other areas in Kaduna that have had series and series of attacks, and they saw no lawmaker. I don't even think they saw their senator for that constituency. I don't think they saw that senator. Nobody represented anybody and went there for whatsoever reason. We've had victims of accidental bombings in the past, and nobody went to see them. Nobody gave them compensation. Why are we fighting for compensation differently for these people? And this is where we keep seeing the loophole. We keep seeing the gap. We keep seeing our lack of structure. And until we grow and we want to revamp Nigeria, so like when you want to revamp yourself as an individual, you leave no stone unturned. You touch every tiny little thing, because in the end, these bits and pieces are what make up a bigger picture. These tiny pieces of the puzzles is what, when you add, eventually makes the entire picture. So when we want to make Nigeria, like we talk about our leaders refusing to make known their income. Why? Because we allow corruption to grow in the country. The same way, when we refuse to put structure for things that we know we should, we allow favoritism to show, we allow sentiment, we allow certain people to suffer more than the others. And it's not done like that, because Nigeria is for everybody, and nobody should benefit more from the federal government above than the other. Exactly. So why are we allowing such things to thrive? So in as much as this might look like a heroic act from our senators, it still shows a gap that needs to be fixed. It shows that we're lacking structure when it comes to certain areas, and something should be done about it.
Well, Richard, I totally agree with you. And just like I said, I mean, they never did it, but then for the fact that they have taken this step to actually identify with the people, because a lot of people are saying, let us even have a picture of all the people that actually died during that. That is, if we truly had, if we had sense, I mean, Rachel, the Nigerian government should have everybody's index. Everybody should have everybody's data. Yes. So you'll be able to tell us these were the people. But regardless, I mean, we are not so heartless that we will say that a particular place should not be given the support that they need. We love the step, even though even the governor have said that he would like to suggest that the Senate should look into approving state policing in this state to be able to help the military, because he believed that if we actually had state police in the state, they would have been in a better position to actually give the information to the military whether they were truly terrorists or not before that bombing. And so truly we appreciate our senators for doing that. We hope to see that this is not just the end, but that this is the beginning. We'll begin to see more gesture, not just until something bad happens, but I mean, identify with the people you are representing there. That was the reason why you were being elected in that position in the first place, for you to go there, represent the people that you say you love, and then when you go there, speak on their behalf. We've had senators that will go there from the beginning of their tenure to the end. They never pass any bill in favor of their people, and you wonder, I mean, what kind of senator are we having? So we'll just keep our fingers crossed, Rachel, and I hope that our senators will not just stop at this place, but that they will continue with this nice gesture to let Nigerians know that we truly love you and we want to associate with you during your pain and your happy moments. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for doing the program with me. And thank you also to our viewers and supporters at home. Thank you for watching Nigeria Now. Until we come tomorrow, to have a blessed day ahead.